Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. It is day 4 of the test match between India and England. A crucial day indeed. India needed 126 runs, so it's going to be a challenge for India to break that partnership between Ollie Pope and Rehan Ahmed and then get on to batting and finish the game as soon as possible. Joining me for today's show is Atreo and Debashish from the Rajiv Gandhi Stadium, Ishan Shahane and Shomik Chakraborty. First of all, Debashish, I'd like to go to you and Atreo as well. How's the atmosphere? How's the crowd? Is there good energy over there?
Yes, absolutely. It's
It's
a
a
Sunday
Sunday
crowd,
crowd,
and
and
so
so
we can
we
see
could see
actually
actually
large
large
turnout.
turnout,
And
and
I
I
think
think
it's
we might
see
see
the
the
biggest
biggest
turnout
turnout
in
in
this
this
test
test
match.
match. Obviously,
Yeah,
India is favourites to win this test match. Sunday holiday, and with a lot of school children turning up, and then not to forget the England fans as well. So it's going to be a great atmosphere, I would say.
Okay, yes, and Atreo, we're almost reaching the end of the test match now. We may or may not have a pre-show tomorrow. So, tell me, what are the most interesting people you've met in the crowd so far?
Well, there are lots of Englishmen over here and lots of Indians, of course. And I mean, interesting as in what? There are people from different walks of life. I met an old couple from Coventry in England who are here in India for the first time. And actually, most of them are quite elderly. If you notice the majority of the crowd, I mean the English crowd, most of them are quite elderly. And that's what I had seen during the Australia series as well. That a lot of retired people they want to visit India, and the cricket tour, a cricket series, gives them a great chance of enjoying cricket and seeing a lot of India.
Arthur, don't you think it's special that the English crowd still loves their Test cricket? I mean, it's so good to see such a huge turnout from the English in Hyderabad. So that is so special to see, don't you think?
That's a very interesting point that you observe, Ishan. That yeah, I mean the love for cricket among them has not diminished. I mean we have seen that in India, love for Test cricket has is probably on the wane in most of the cities. But in England, actually in England, if you see Ashes tests, they are always sellouts. Even India England tests, those are always sellouts. So in
Yes.
England, love for Test cricket remains, and a lot of them like traveling and so cricket series in India gives them that chance of seeing a new country and also enjoying cricket.
Yes. Coming back to the Test match, Shomik, do you think the Test match is going to end today, or do you think Ollie and Rehan are going to put up a strong fight?
See how interesting. Yesterday we were talking about whether we'll have a 3 day finish, 3rd day finish, and now how the way things have changed. Um, I it's unlikely that this game will go into the 5th day, because you will still have that option of taking that extra half an hour towards the end. From that perspective, Ishan, the fact is that if only, I mean, England bad deep. England bad until Mahfoud. And if England can take their lead fast, I mean, this day starts with still India a bit ahead. But if Ollie Pope, Rehan Ahmed, Mahfoud, Tom Hartley, they can take the lead past 200,
Yeah.
then the game will become 50-50 because the English spinners now have overs under their belt. And we have seen, I mean, even in the last winter, last season, how India struggled in Bangladesh as far as their fourth innings days were concerned. But Ishan, you mentioned the crowd factor. I would like to come to that crowd thing.
Yes, yes.
If you host test matches at traditional cricket center, and Hyderabad is one. Hyderabad has a rich history of cricket. They produce many great players, so you will get crowds. If you go to remote places, you will not, because they don't have a test culture. I asked this question to Virat Kohli 3-4 years ago, and he agreed that you should have 5 strong test centers, and especially for a marquee series. I think when you are playing against England or Australia, you should always host test matches in strong, proper test centers.
I think that's a fair point there, Shamik. You're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and I think one other advantage that Hyderabad has is the biryani. The English love their biryani.
Couldn't
But
agree more, Gagi.
yeah, and Devashish, the match has reached a crucial stage now as we head into day four. How would you assess the current state of the game? Which team holds the advantage? Do you think at this point it's very tricky to say?
No, I would still say England have an upper hand. Means obviously England lead by one thing. This is but obviously Ryan Ahmed is a decent batter, but the England tail starts. Means obviously they can get. I think if England post a region of say 200 leads, I think India should feel confident of chasing the total. And, and it's obviously in all probability India is going to be 1-0 up before the head to rise up. And talking
And
about
after,
biryani, and talking
yeah,
talking about biryani, we might as well enjoy today. Both me and Athro might enjoy Hyderabadi biryani.
you
Wow.
should, you should.
Please let us know the updates later.
I will message you.
But Atreyo, how do you expect the pitch to behave now on day four? Just a second, you're on mute.
Of predictions of talk about the pitch. There have been a lot of predictions, and not a lot of them have been right. So a fourth day wicket will be slow. There will be turn, but that is not going to be a factor anymore. I mean, both teams have had a good feel of the pitch so far over the last 3 days. Now it's up to how you perform. Pitch and all those factors are gone now. It's about how you play, how you apply yourself, what kind of determination you show. Like Ollie Pope yesterday. So it's not about the pitch anymore. Pitch will be a factor, but not a decisive one. It's about how you play now. It's not going to be a minefield. That's what we can say. It's not going to be a minefield.
Yes, and Shaunak, a lot was spoken about the body language in that catch. So, how important is it to maintain a good body language even if things don't go your way? Because if you slip in that aspect, I think the whole morale of the team goes down, which we saw yesterday. So, talk about body language going into the days the today's days of play. Like, how important is that?
Yeah, body language is important, but I think not too much should be read into that. What happened yesterday? I mean, Olipop completely unsettled the Indian spinners who were not in control of their length. And as Athreyo wrote in an article very rightly that India didn't have a plan B. And then that drop catch happened. Akshay dropped Olipop. So naturally, and they were getting tired. It was hot. They were getting tired. So some of the shoulders dropped. Today is a fresh beginning, a new day. If India can get a couple of wickets off front, then once again they will have their momentum back. But if Rehan Ahmed and Ollie Pope continue for the first hour or so, then once again you can see a few frustrating faces in the Indian camp.
Yes, and Devashish, it's going to be a crucial first hour for India. All eyes will be on the second new ball, which will be available from in 3 overs time. What do you think should be, what bowlers come in, and how do you think Rohit Sharma should tackle this day going forward?
I think Rohit for one feel that India will start the attack with spinners. Means at least for half an hour. See because with Ashwin, Akshar, and Jadeja, means they might have some help from this wicket. But then if the wicket doesn't fall, then he might resort to taking the new ball with I mean, obviously just with Bumrah and Siraj. But to start with, I would say that the Rohit will start with the spinners.
And after
And
your key bowlers
yeah,
today,
Bumrah and
Bumrah.
Jadeja.
Oh,
Bumrah is kind of a bowler for whom the pitch is not much of a factor. I mean, unless it's a very flat deck, Bumrah can be effective on any surface. So Bumrah, as we saw yesterday, he actually brought India back into the game, and Bumrah will be a factor. And I think Jadeja had a bad day yesterday, but he's you can never write him off. He's a guy who is a smart learner. He's a smart kid. So if he gets the gets his direction right, he can be a factor. I think he was a little one-dimensional yesterday. He didn't try something different when he saw that the batter was trying to sweep him and reverse sweep him. So I expect him to learn from that, and I expect him to bowl faster and onto the stumps.
But Atru, I think with the new ball, you would go with Bumrah up front, right? Or would you still consider trying to spin it early on with the new ball?
See, I don't think India will take the new ball immediately when it becomes available,
Okay.
because a new ball means that uh, the the ball will go faster off the bat. So that means a greater chance of runs being scored quickly. So I think India will try to break this partnership and get at least one more with the old ball, and then see how it goes. And obviously, if they take the new ball, uh, from both ends, I don't see fast bowlers operating. No.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, and Shaumik, Oli Pope and Rehan Ahmed really got going yesterday. How should the Indian bowlers plan to break that partnership? Because Oli Pope was negating everything, sweeps. Look at the sweeps that he's played yesterday.
Yes, I mean, one of the drawbacks are the fact that, see, if India had someone like Kuldeep Yadav, who is a proven wicket taker, uh, India could have thrown in something different against that onslaught, against that sweeps and reverse sweeps. Um, Akshar Patel basically is a bowler for bad wickets, bad pitches, and on flatted decks he is not that effective. And when you are picking a number nine because he bats better, then that's a defensive mindset. Anyway, the fact of the matter is that what India failed to do yesterday is to bowl a consistent length. When a batsman is trying something different, like Oli Pope did, bringing on innovations, you still stick to your length. And these guys are experienced spinners with so many Test matches under their belt, Ashwin and Jadeja. But it was sort of a throwback to the 1987 World Cup semi-final when Graham Gooch swept India out of the World Cup, and I mean, sort of his sweeping made Maninder Singh and Ravi Shastri sort of clueless. So it happens in cricket. It happens in cricket. It was, I would like to say that is one bad day, and they will go back to the drawing board. You have a bowling coach to work on this. So they will go back to the drawing board. They will come up with something better today. But India, whatever Oli Pope does, whatever Rehan Ahmed will be the support cast. But whatever Oli Pope does, Indian spinners will have to stick to a consistent length. That's the key to negate Oli Pope.
Devashish, what are you thinking about Oli Pop? Do you think he's going to go out there and get a 200 today?
Yeah, obviously I think he looked a lot positive. I mean, and given the fact that he was continuously looking to score runs, be it the single or the reverse sweep or the sweep shot, and for and actually for him England are, I won't say totally back into the match, but definitely he has given that confidence in that dressing room. Obviously, going forward to the next four Test matches, obviously what this second innings has done for England is that will give that confidence going ahead into the series, because means obviously the first innings we saw it was all very, but then the second innings they were a lot more disciplined, but then I think they will take the confidence of this Oli Pope now. But I was having a word with Steve Harmison, and he did say that yes, it was one of the best knocks by an English batter in Indian conditions, in trying
Hmm.
conditions. So I think it will be definitely must have given the confidence to the English fan. But as far as saving this Test match is concerned, I still really don't feel that England will save this Test match. Means obviously whatever the total they post, I think Indian batters are too good to chase the total.
And Atreo, soon it will be time for India to come out and bat. Joe Root, is that the key bowler that the Indian batters should look out for? Because
Definitely.
he's
He is, I think he is the best English spinner, going by what we have seen in the first innings. He is the best
yeah.
of he's the most potent of the spinners. Let's put it that way. So we'll definitely see Joe Root a lot earlier than we did in the first innings. In the first innings, I think he came on to bowl on the second day. On the second day, by which time I think the ball was. I think that by the time they had about 24 or 25 overs. So I think in this innings we'll see him a lot earlier,
And
and he's
okay,
going to be a key man. He's going to be a key man in the fourth innings.
before we wrap up, Devashish, over to you first. How many runs do you predict being made in the first session, or how many wickets do you think India will take?
I would say India will chase 175 to 180 maximum. 50 more runs, I think. Indian bowlers will wrap up the England innings.
Shomik?
See, it depends because if Ollie Pope sticks around, I see England scoring sort of 100 plus in the first session. If he gets out early, then the innings might be wrapped up pretty quickly. And if Ollie Pope sticks around and India takes the new ball and Ollie Pope still sticks around, the scoring rate could be the scoring rate could be even faster.
Ishan, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I agree with Shomik here. If Ollie Pop stays around, then obviously there'll be that pressure. But if he's out early, then I feel the innings will be wrapped up fairly early, Gagi. So I think that's what the Indians are looking to do as well. Wrap it up as soon as possible.
Atreyo?
See, I think I difficult to say how many runs because that how many runs are going to be scored because that depends completely on for how long Pope is going to stick around. I think if you are talking about runs in the first session, it will include two sides. Not runs will not come from one team. I
Oh,
do see England getting bowled out in the first session. For how many
okay.
runs, that depends completely on how long Pope sticks around.
All right. So those are our predictions. Play will start in a few minutes, so we're going to take our leave. Until then, stay tuned to Ref Sports.
Thank you.